Wonder is directed by Steven Chbosky and stars Jacob Tremblay as Augie Pullman, who as a baby had to have 28 different surgeries just to make him see, hear, and breathe, and because of that he looks quite different from the average kid, and this whole movie is about his journey through his first full year of public school, and has a nice message about anti-bullying, kindness, and acceptance. So Jacob Tremblay gives a great performance as Augie Pullman, and I gotta give this kid credit too because, it couldn't have been easy for a kid that young to do a role like this, not just because of the emotional side of it, but also, he had to wear prosthetic makeup every single day, it probably took at least 3 hours to put on, and had to work in it for the full 7 hours of work a day, or 8 hours depending on what the current Hollywood labor laws are. And this Augie character is the emotional backbone of the movie and delivers some of the most emotional scenes in the film, so I don't know what it is lately, but we are just starting to get really good child actors, and suddenly it's just not a taboo thing to have children in your movies anymore. Julia Roberts and Owen Wilson are also in this movie. They play Augie's parents. They provide a little bit of star power and some well-needed emotional support for the Augie character, and well, they just do well together. Owen Wilson is a weird thing where he's in these kind of movies, and there's a dog involved, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Bryce Geisar plays Julian, who is, for lack of a better word, the villain of the movie. He's basically the main bully that gives Augie the most grief throughout the film, and he's just kind of a cliche Hollywood school bully character, who's just a lot younger and dresses like a fuckboy. But hey, that doesn't make it any less satisfying for him to get his comeuppance later in the film. One thing I really liked about this movie is how it wasn't just told completely from Augie's perspective. So a few times throughout the movie, the film cuts back to a certain moment, but shows it from a different perspective. Like his sister, his friend, a friend of his sister's. It was just really nice to see, it was kind of a good way to go about this because we get to see how Augie affects people around him, but we also get to see how the people in Augie's life were affected by him, so I think it helps get the message across, and, you could argue it was just kind of an excuse to, get the running time up to a certain length, but I think it works. So I'm just gonna warn you guys right here and now. If you do plan to see this movie, get ready to be surrounded by a symphony of sniffing noses. Not because the audience is sick or anything, but because everybody was crying throughout the whole movie. I don't want to describe this movie as an emotional roller coaster. I would prefer to describe it as an emotional tsunami, like every scene it just BOOM! Hits you. It's like in every scene you're either crying, laughing, and if you're not doing either of those things, then you're either getting ready to cry or laugh. So I do think the emotions in certain scenes come in a bit too heavily, but I think for the most part there's a good balance between lightheartedness and drama. Why are 10-year-olds so mean? So there's this one flashback scene at a beach with two different characters, and well, it's kind of obvious that scene was shot in front of a green screen because the lighting of the actors does not match the lighting in the background, and there's just a bit of green spill around the characters, so that kind of bothers me, but I think for most people they're not going to notice or really even care. Kind of makes you wonder why I even brought it up. But I only have one real problem with this movie, and that's something I found out after I saw it. So, after I got home from the advanced screening, I went online, did a little bit of research about the film, and well, I found out it was based on a book. A fictional book. I thought this movie was going to be based on a true story about some kid who actually went through all of these things, but no, it's a fictional story, and that almost ruins the movie for me because for a movie like this, it's supposed to be heartwarming, inspirational, and just shows this character going through all these issues. That takes away some of the emotional impact on the film for me, just knowing that it's a work of fiction. But I think for the most part, people aren't going to care about that. They probably just want to go see a nice, heartwarming, feel-good movie that'll make them cry a few times, and if that's what they're coming in for, then they're going to like it. So all in all, Wonder was a heartwarming, feel-good, emotional tsunami of a film that if you just want to see a movie about a kid struggling with acceptance and bullying, then you're gonna be happy with this movie. So those are my thoughts on Wonder. Go take the kids to see this movie, they might learn a thing or two, but if you have seen the movie, notice them down below, and we'll see you on the questionable side. Oh god.